See, this is Damascus. And this is a glass of spirit comfort I love, but I'm aware of the fact that certain kinds of love can slaughter you in their wrath. I'm a Damascene being, dissect me into halves and have not, but grapes and apples fall in your path. Open my veins with scalpels, hear ancestral chants of heart transplants can cure some of the passionate. Why does mine stay torn in half and minarets crying tears of absence? And like trees, the soul speak, years have passed them. You can hear them asking for civil rights to live amongst tears of jasmine. As house cats take naps, relax, and coffee grinders crackling. Childhood reminders back when, how could I forget when my reaction to cardamom strong fragrance yet and still finds attraction. As proud fathers wait for a sweet daughter's face, I'm asking if my roots, heart, and language are here. How am I supposed to make myself any more clear? Is clarification necessary with love so dear, so much so there was no fear? How many Damascene bracelets were sold for this poetry here? Apologizing to the willow, wondering if my little siblings can hear. My parts been scattered cross coasts for years. Lanterns on horizons floating, saddened eyes had lost their hopes to sear. I'm tossed around in shoreless oceans, only to be hunted down by devils and demonic ghosts. I battle garbage rap with prose and rapid flows that's apropos until no war is open to them, that's for show. Identity of Arabness, resembling a widow though. Is there no Festivus for the rest of us? History books can show. What will remain of poetry's originality if so many a brown-nosed liar gets to have complete control? How we gonna ever write a verse to spit when killers still approach? I bore the burden of my words upon my back until I grieve what shall remain of poetry. When it is finally relieved, the saddest thing in this world, my lady, is knowing that we were meant to be from the very start. But that will never be. While some men sank in trepidation and banked on medication from angst to separation, the starlip got by and advanced through dedication, enhanced by preparation and chance of meditation. His cognizance high, the mantra was fly, like bombs in the sky. A constant surprise, his impossible rise through the ranks, steady walk in the planks, throwing rocks at the tanks on the blocks of an occupied Middle East bereft. Not an olive tree left, seeing theft in the keys to the lock he'd kept. Steep steps on the stairway to peace he slipped. Petroleum made these trips that much slicker. Billy crystallized, the city lights flicker, silly pistols fired, a street fight triggered, other men to fall off their grandstand. Still he held his ground like a handstand. Damn, look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's an Arab superhero when he came to bring change. Unite the divided and free them from the chains of these tyrants who reign in vain and pain. Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's an Arab superhero. Yeah, I know it sounds strange, but the only thing keeping us from going insane is knowing he'll be back again. See, amidst military coups and the critics of his literary views, he's pitted, wary, given very few alternatives to violence, and yet and still he carries on through scary obstacles. Contrary to popular belief, he can keep a cool head amongst grief-stricken, war-torn Middle East streets, sticking by the weak mothers of the bleak, futureless populace, confident he speaks truth through the cracked concrete of urban eruptions, proving that policies of curbing corruption can further the function of justice and earning the trust of a people who've all been flustered and can't move forward and still make babies as though it's all good. Run around barefoot, can't afford sandals, huddling by candles to pray. Hey, it's nothing that Otto Superman can't handle. Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's an Arab superhero when he came to bring change. Unite the divided and free us from the chains of these tyrants who reign in vain and pain. Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's an Arab superhero. Yeah, I know it sounds strange, but the only thing keeping us from going insane is knowing he'll be back again. See, like a couple Bedouin homes, I'm too tense. Writing up some relevant songs, I do vent, waxing poetic on the fact that pathetic leaders act sympathetic when we know they ain't sent not 1 cent to Irsha aid to refugees. Potbelly kids, they lay in SUVs, not really skilled. Who braves this mess you leave? What must we say to pass over these developmental disasters that are lying ahead? Living in denial like Egyptian pyramids, coming to a point where the bubble's gonna burst and desalinized water will no longer quench our thirst. We need a glass half full for the youth, shine, an optimistic outlook from the roof line, like bat signals, till the criminals fade away. Here he comes to save the day. Yeah, my family's from Syria, more specifically Damascus, which is where my mother is right now. And one of the beautiful things about Damascus is that it's the longest continuously inhabited city on planet Earth. And being that it's one of the oldest cities, it also has one of the oldest streets in the world. It's the street called Straight. Anybody familiar with that street? It's in the Bible. He's heard about it. There you go. I'm not even Christian and I know where it is. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, beautiful place where I've learned a lot of lessons. And I wrote this in honor of the street called Straight. I took a stroll down the street called Straight. Met a medicine man about a third of the way. Predecessor to the pusher man with something to say about an apple a day, keeping the sickness away. I valued his advice at face at first, till he enlightened me to how precisely nature works. Giving us citrus fruits in wintertime for vitamin C. Just met each other, but I'm already invited for tea. SubhanAllah, as fate would have it, he and I turn out to be related. Small world's even smaller when you're Arab, ain't it? Made it a point to soak in all his information about regenerative meditations and preventative medication like a modern Ibn Sina with a pretty calm demeanor and a remedy for everything that plagued the Arab nations. Yet when asked how to cope with our impossible fate, he just said, follow the middle path to a street called Straight. And so I took a stroll down the street called Straight. Met a spiritual teacher about 2/3 of the way. Predecessor to the preacher man with something to say about a prayer a day, keeping the Satans at bay. He spoke of angels on our shoulders and the angles of our solar systematic self-destruction, metaphysical corruption with a danger to our polar ice caps till it's out of our control and in the hands of our beholder. We philosophized for over 20 minutes like that, taught me lessons, any questions he would give them right back, and said the answers were within us. And I didn't like that. But I realized later why he did it like that. See, I had so much more to learn. The clock was ticking, couldn't stall. Committed his words to memory. His wisdom was enthralling. Yet when asking him, what was the most important to recall? He just said, follow the middle path, straight street, and that is all. And so I took a stroll down the street called Straight. Met a carpenter hard at work at the end of the way. Predecessor to the architect with something to say about not doing tomorrow what should be finished today. See, he manipulated wood and metal till it followed function, building all through Via Recta and Cardo Maximus Junction. Something told me he was wise beyond his years. I had a feeling from the way that he'd exposed the beams and ornamented ceilings with an ambidextrous half, nonchalantly jest and laugh, saying that my Western education made it hard to grasp his connection to the past, deep-rooted in his craft. Was more than willing to share with me these tools he knew I lacked, and for that I would be grateful. Learning how to build the monumental for the playful and the humble for the faithful. Yet when asked of how we'd stack against our impossible odds, he just said, follow the middle path, straight street to the gods. Yeah.